right, everybody. Welcome to the Young Adult Diary podcast. We are co-hosts. My name is Dawson Poling.
My name's Tom Jing.
Now, Tom, can you actually say your real name?
Yes. So my real name is Jing Zhong Tao. It is a Chinese name, right? Because I am from China. Just a little bit about myself. This is my brother from America, brother from another mother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a little bit about ourselves. I'll go first. I came to the United States when I was 10 as an international student. And when I moved to Chicago with a family friend of mine, I went to Aurora Christian at high school. And that's where I got plugged up with this stud and a lifetime brother.
Thank you.
That, we built a friendship and a family together. And
Yeah, so Tom came and lived with our family when he was a freshman in high school. I was a senior in high school. I was asked if I knew anything about this kid before he lived with us. And my mom was like, "What do you know about him?" And I said, "We are not hosting that kid. He is nuts. I see him in the hallway. The dude just goes crazy." And I don't think anything's changed.
Nothing has changed.
But I love it. I absolutely love it.
Nothing has changed since then. We are the same as before, same as now.
All right. So check us out on Instagram right now. That is our only page, youngadult.diary. And we will see you for our first full episode.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the episode for us to introduce ourselves and talk about the podcast and what the podcast is about. Dawson, what do you want to see out of this podcast? What should people expect from us in this podcast?
Yeah. So I really, when I think of Young Adult Diary podcast, I think of trying to break the false narrative that a young adult has to live up to the expectations of the outlier that is super successful, has all the money, lives in the Chicago skyrise, and is just living life. And just because that is not the average young adult, but that is what you see on social media, and that is sadly what is expected of you. And so I just want to break that mold. Tom, what about you?
Right. So obviously this is a young adult diary. So our intended audience is for young adults, right? How our daily lives go about and how we think about topics that we're going to discuss. How a young adult would think about controversial topics, what we think, and how it compares to someone who may be older. And obviously this is not just for young adults, right? I would love for the older generation or even someone who's younger than us to watch this and see where our train of thought is and how we think about issues, problems that we have in our society today.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Now, Tom, someone who came to the U.S. at 10 years old, so that's still pretty young, what is the culture difference? And I know at 10 years old you're not a young adult, but I'm just trying to see the culture difference to get a little background on you and where you're coming from.
Right. So obviously everybody here knows that China and America are vastly different.
Terrafor.
Yeah, right. And for me, obviously, because I've been here since 10 and I didn't grow up too much in China. I'm pretty Americanized, but just think back on the Chinese culture. We have traditions. We're big on traditions, and the Chinese culture is big on traditions. You do things a certain way. This is the way it is. There's no give or take, which I think is very different in America, right? America is very easygoing. There's a lot of acceptance, allowance, and just different things. And, in a way, people can do whatever they like and do whatever they feel that it's right. And it's not like that in China, right? In China, it's very black and white. This is the right way. This is the wrong way, which I think, that's something we're going to discuss in this podcast is some controversial topics that we believe that maybe should be black and white instead of allowing so many different possibilities.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think drawing that into the young adult kind of life, we can see like some places where things aren't black and white where they should be.
Right.
And it's very, I'm trying to think of some examples, but I definitely think when it comes to like comparison and
Right.
stuff where people are like, yo, be financially free by 28 years old.
Right.
Like, check out this social media marketing hack. Like, follow these 5 steps
Right.
to like, and it's like, whoa, like this is so like not normal,
Right.
you know? And I feel like there's a kind of like, if you aren't this by when you hit your 30s, you've kind of failed.
Right.
And that is not what it should be at all.
Yeah.
And so what are some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has different lives growing up. Everybody has different starting points in their life, right? And success is so different for everybody, right? Some people may be content with this much, and others may be content with something that they have to achieve a lot higher, right? So success is so different, and I don't believe that there is a determination for success, right? Is how are you comfortable with where you are at, and are you happy with where you are at in life? And I believe that's success, right? Not everybody have to be Elon Musk or Bill Gates in order to be defined as successful.
Though we may want to be.
Though we may want to be. We may want to have all the nice things, but we know that, you know, material things are not everything. So, you know, we and you know, just a little introduction as well. You know, Dawson and I are both Christians. We are gonna put in the Christian worldview on kind of how we discuss certain things, which is kind of like I said, you know, we know that materials are not everything in life, right? And in today's world, it seems like that success is heavily dependent on how much material things you have in life, right?
Yeah. And I think that's something as a young adult that is like, what clothes do you wear? What car do you drive? There are broke people that live in a really nice apartment that costs like $2,500 a month, but they're only making like $3,200 a month.
Right, they're doing paycheck
and
to paycheck.
It's just bad in that sense. And I kind of want to go back to something you said,
right?
Because you said something that we all grow up in different scenarios. Our story is unique to ourselves.
Right.
You know, we can't really compare ourselves to somebody else's upbringing. And I kind of think of like we all are dealt a hand of cards.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm not sure if I like this analogy or not, and I'd love to hear your take, but I think about it, and Kanye West has a song where he says like, I changed my cards, and I'm like, all right, is like, do you stay with the hand that you're dealt, or can you just like totally get rid of the cards that you have and get brand new cards? And I personally don't know I'm not really confident on what I would say with that. So Tom, what would you say on, do you have to deal with the hand you're dealt, or can you completely just get new cards because you came straight from China?
Right.
And like, I guess that's a card in itself, but your thoughts on that?
Yeah, everybody's experience in this world is different, and the truth is, I would like to just straight up say that the world is unfair. Everybody is dealt with different cards, like you said. That the world is not fair to everybody. Some people may have a better upbringing, some people may not. Some people may at a young age start with more wealth that their parents are able to provide them, and some may not, right? That will judge your starting line in life and the kind of opportunity that you have. I absolutely believe that you can change your card around, right? Because the truth is, when you have money, you get certain life experiences. And when you don't have money, you also get a different set of life experiences, right? And I believe both those those experiences are important to success. And I don't believe that anybody is stuck with the cards they're dealt. I know people who started out with a very wealthy family and eventually they blew all the money that they had, right? And I've also known people who've started with nothing and have built an empire for themselves. So I absolutely think that the card that you're dealt with at birth, at your starting line, is something that can be changed, based on the decision that you make in life.
Yeah, I think starting out, you do have to deal with the hand that you were dealt.
Absolutely.
Now, how you change that, I really think it's capitalizing on opportunities, because
Exactly.
it's just placed in front of you, and it's just like, are you going to take this opportunity? It might be a risk.
Right.
It might be something, but it's like, that's how you would change a card.
Right.
And from there, that can lead to changing other cards.
Right.
And so I really think you can change your cards, but you have to capitalize on opportunities
Right.
that are placed in front of you.
You have to take the opportunity when they present themselves,
Mhm.
right? If you let it go, I mean, bigger the risk, bigger the reward. That's what people
True.
always say, and,
True.
and that is true, right? When you have more to lose, you have more to gain, right? So yeah, I certainly believe that nobody is stuck with the card that they have. Everybody can change their cards or make their situation better based on the decisions they make and, kind of like you said, the opportunities they take.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's great.
no, absolutely. And we're going to be talking about topics like this in this podcast. So as an introductory to this podcast, we would love for you to drop in the comments or even on Instagram as well, kind of certain topics that you would like us to talk about, right, as the Young Adult Podcast. And we're going to invite guests onto our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And those are going to be some topics that we're going to be talking about with our guests to kind of get a third person perspective outside of Dawson and I, right? So we're going to have different guests each time. That way we can get different perspective on different kind of issues.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. And I would like to say shout out to Harvest New Beginnings, especially the Young Adult Group, for letting us use this space. They're kind of our sponsor. And so, shameless plug, if you are in the Chicago area, you should check out Harvest Young Adult Group and pop up on a Wednesday night.
Yeah,
you can go into the cafe for it.
Dawson and I both went through that in high school. We had a great time on those youth trips and things like that. So we're very blessed that they're allowing us to use this office and this facility and some of this equipment.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And you should stay tuned for the next podcast. It'll be dropping weekly. And I'm really excited for this, Tom.
Let's do it. I'm excited too, man.
Let's do it, bro.
Let's do it.
Come on.